Hi there. So I'm going to talk a bit about the Moeller system, which is a method of playing that I learned about 20 years ago with a couple of really fabulous teachers, and it really changed my whole way of playing. It was such a brilliant thing to learn. Just a few words about it. The Moeller system was it gets its name from a drummer from the 1920s called Sanford Moeller, who was an orchestral drummer, and it wasn't that he invented this technique. He just observed that the good drummers around at the time, who were the drummers who played marching band snare, that they tended to play in this way. In fact, at one point he refused to teach it. He said that naturally gifted players would pick it up anyway. But I'm pretty glad I took lessons at it, because I don't think I would have picked this up on my own. Okay, so at its root, okay, it's got a motion which is similar to a whip, cracking a whip. Okay. And you basically learn four main strokes. You learn a downstroke, an upstroke, a tap stroke, and a full stroke, or otherwise known as the free stroke. Okay, and what they do is they give you accents and they prepare you for the next stroke. Okay, so when you play an upstroke, it's going to give you a non-accent, prepare you for an accent. Okay, but it's this motion that really makes it. Because it's not just about what it enables you to do with your playing. For me, it's also about what happens to my feel. It got me really playing from right down inside my body, rather than just linear wrist stuff, which is what I've been previously learning, and which still serves me pretty well. I mean, the wrist motion is great for for single stroke rolls, really good. But the Moeller system just opens up so many doors. So let's just show you a few things to do with it. I mean, one of the main things that it gives you is it gives you this amazing control over accents. Okay, so if I play, I'm just going to play some accents, just an accent every 4 strokes. You see that Moeller motion? I'm playing down tap, up tap, down tap, up tap. Let's just vary the accents a bit, just for a bit of spice here. More of an African sort of thing. I found when I played African music a few years ago that I was using these kind of things for this. Something like. Okay, and then what we do is we then learn to put double strokes onto the non-accents. Okay, so what would be let's do a simple 3 would then become, okay, which is great for many different applications. Just going back to not using those doubles for a moment though. The accents, let's play some nice hi-hat grooves using those accents, so we get something like. Great for fills as well. Normally if you don't have that control with the accents, then you'd play everything one-dimensional in a fill. Or around the kit in some way. But the ability to play accents in such a beautiful way. Now, just how this works in a groove method, and how it really changes the feel. Okay, so previous to learning it, I'm just playing with my wrist. So there's not much else going on in the body, just wrist, not much of the rest of the body. But when I started to learn the Moeller motions in a groove way, so let's just take the simplest one. The simplest application would be tap, up, down, tap, tap, up, down, tap. And that's exaggerating the motion. And that exaggeration is great for showmanship stuff. Like, you know, that kind of, like, really kind of looking big with your playing works really well. But in reality, the whole thing gets smaller, becomes more internalized. And because this motion has got this round, circular, because I learned some Kung Fu when I was younger, and I learned this very soft style called Pakwa, which has these kind of motions like that in it. And I thought, when I learned this, I thought, yeah, this is just like that, really. This is like a martial art for drumming. And you know, that's what it does. It gets this beautiful flow, this beautiful circular kind of motion going in the playing, and it's actually really good for slow playing, for really staying with the groove. I'm going to put something on at 60 beats a minute, slow it right down. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and that kind of thing. And then when we start to speed it up a bit, so for instance, if we're playing a downstroke, then an upstroke on the hi-hat for that very familiar way of playing the hi-hat. Using these different strokes to really get the open hi-hat accented within the groove. Okay, so we can also reverse that. So instead of playing, okay, we can reverse it round the other way. And then applying that to a 16th note groove for that very familiar disco sort of groove. Okay, now there's a whole set of motions for the jazz and shuffle thing as well. I'll just demonstrate some of that. It's kind of a reverse. It's kind of a reverse upstroke. So instead of the upstroke going that way, the upstroke is going that way. And then with shuffle. Just looking at the left-hand thing for a moment. When we wanted to play those nice funky ghost strokes, you know, the kind of stuff that Bernard Purdie does. Just watch how I'm using the upstroke to bring the accent back in, but keeping everything down really tight for the ghost. So just going to play a little funky beat. So you can see how I'm playing one, tap, and then there's an upstroke there. Let's bring it in for the accent. Now we can double up. Remember the doubles I was talking about? We can double up some of those. Like in that lovely groove for Chameleon. So anyway, it was a bit rough, but yeah, just off the top of my head, some of the things the ways that the Moeller system really works nicely for me. Yeah, hope that's whet your appetite for this beautiful way of playing, and see you again.